tool and Catalan Studio tool. On the performance testing side, I have the expertise to work with Gatling tool and Jmeter tool. On the security testing, I have been doing this using tools like Burp Suite, Z-Attack Proxy, Zap tool, then Network Mapper, SQL Mapper. On the DevOps side, I have been working on tools like Git, GitHub, GitLab, Jenkins, Bitbucket, SourceTree, and also on the accessibility testing. So these are few of the areas where
स्मूदी बात सुनो दो और बार बंद कर देता
guys, please go on mute. Thank you. Yeah, so that's about my experience, guys. And in my career, I have trained nothing less than 600 corporates across the length and breadth of India. And coming to these public batches, the way I'm doing right now for you, this is at least I have done 100 so far in my career, thus benefiting nearly 6,000 to 7,000 students, employees, to upskill their knowledges on different areas of software testing. So that's about my profile on a very high level, so that you know who is the trainer for this program. And jumping on to the actual topic for which we have joined this demonstration class. So at Isha Training Solutions, we are starting from today a new batch on API automation testing using Postman tool. And this is both a manual testing course on API testing, as well as on the automation side as well. Okay. The tool that we are picking up in this course is Postman tool, which you can see on the screen share. I'll also give this link to everyone where the course curriculum is clearly explained. Maybe if you think this becomes handy to you, you can just bookmark it. So the idea of this particular class that we have, right, this is obviously a demonstration class, a day 0 class. The idea is to help you understand what we teach at Isha for API automation using Postman tool, and what is the courseware material that you get, what kind of support that Isha provides to you or I will provide to you, and also probably to exchange some questions and answers from my side on this particular course that you have. So that's the agenda for this particular class. I hope I'm pretty much clear on this. Anyone has any questions before I quickly go for a quick walkthrough on the course curriculum? Anyone has a question to say? So we have 38 participants, which is good. Yeah, I've just muted everyone to avoid some noise coming from others. But you can unmute as well if you have any question, or you can post a question on the chat as well. So I'll quickly give a walkthrough of what we have in this particular course. And it's pretty much available on our website. We also have certain day 0 demonstration videos on the same website. Feel free to just listen to it if you think that would add some value. And like I said, these are the reviews that I have received from the previous batch which we have completed last month, September. Yeah. So the objective of this course and what are the key takeaways of this course, right? That's obviously something that you would like to know, especially when you are joining the demonstration class. So let me say that. Okay, I have a question from Kamran. So the answer is no, Kamran. You don't have to come with any programming language background. Though we use certain programming languages called JavaScripts in Postman, absolutely you can join without any knowledge, because the scripts are already built into the tool. We have to just reuse it. Yeah, so I was talking about what are the key takeaways of this course, right? So I can say that by the end of this course, whoever has nominated in this course, they would definitely become a thorough API automation testing professional using Postman tool, and that would make you to learn any other tool also very much easy in the market, because Postman is the source for all the automation tools. Postman in fact is often regarded as the father of all automation tools when it comes to API automation. And in this course, we are going to learn how to automate REST APIs as well as SOAP APIs using Postman tool. I'm going to discuss both manual testing approach and automation testing approach in this course. And we are going to understand all the API testing techniques which are specific to API automation testing, such as data-driven automation, then assertions testing, API chaining, correlation. So a lot of techniques are there which we are going to talk about. We'll also talk about certain reusable test cases and a test plan, which is specific to API automation testing and API testing that you can apply in your projects as well. We'll also see the advanced automation, like how you can schedule your automation test to execute on a future date and time. We can also do data-driven automation testing using CSV dataset files and by writing some JavaScripts. We can also generate fantastic HTML test reports or XML, JSON test reports using a framework called a Newman tool framework. So these are the key takeaways from this particular course. And the course duration is close to 1 month, 1 hour per day, Monday to Friday are the course timings. So let me also put that here. 1 hour course, 1 hour duration per day. Overall, I can say it is a 1 month course, Monday to Friday. Okay, that's the information. And there is a question from Norin Sheikh. Will you cover RESTful APIs in brief? The answer is yes. We are going to cover both REST APIs as well as SOAP APIs. These are the two types of APIs we are going to discuss in this course. And you will obviously receive the recorded videos on a daily basis. Whatever class we are having, it gets recorded, and they would be shared with all the participants on the same day or probably the next day, and you will have lifetime access to those videos. You will also receive a course completion certificate from Isha Training Solutions after the course is completed. You will also receive the notes from me. So this is the notes that I'm going to share with you. API testing Postman. And here you have all the notes. The training material is kept over here. You can see the test plan, test cases, and whatever rough notes I write when I'm teaching you, that's here. So this is something that I have done for the last batch. So you are seeing it here along with the diagrams. You can see it here. So this is the kind of notes you are going to get. And whatever testing that we do and we get the test results, I'll upload them here so that you can see it for reference purpose. You see here we have last time we have generated different types of reports here. And whatever test data we use for the project, I'll keep it over here. And whatever project work we do, it's all kept over here. So these are the different projects we have covered in the previous batches. You're able to see this. And then to assist you on the interview process, I have certain interview questions along with answers and some multiple choice questions, which is like a post assignment that all of you will take towards the end of the course. And these are the API test engineer responsibilities that you can put on your resume, which I have written here, just the responsibilities, and certain sample resumes templates that you can use here, which I've kept over here. So overall, this is the folder, this is the folder which I'm going to share with you from my Google Drive to you, so that everyday class and the related notes will be uploaded here. So that's something that you will get from the course. Okay. So there is a question from Fazia. I didn't understand that. When you say how much, what does that mean? Fazia, could you please unmute? You can say that or put it on the chat. In case if you're talking about course fees, it's present over here at the bottom. Rupees 6,900, if that's what you meant. That is the cost of the course. Okay. I think you typed it here. Yeah, it's 6,900. I didn't scroll. That was my mistake. Yeah. Okay. Moving further. Now, who can enroll in this course? Obviously, a question which is pretty much common in most of the budding up engineers, students, and already existing employees. I would say anyone who has that basic manual testing background. either theoretical background, or probably you're already working as a manual test engineer, or you have worked in a software organization as one of the engineer, either a back-end engineer or a front-end engineer or a test engineer or a DevOps guy, or even a junior project manager. Any one of you can enroll in this course as long as you understand the basics of manual testing. That's what the prerequisite is. You don't have to come from a programming knowledge background. That's absolutely not necessary. Okay. Now moving further into the course syllabus. Okay, there is a question from Vibo. What level of expertise will be achieved after completion of this course? So the answer, Vibo, for this question is this is what I can promise. By the end of this course, you will become an API testing professional. And if you want to put them under three different categories like beginner, advanced, and an expert, so the way I take examples are advanced to make you ready for interviews, ready for an upcoming project in your organization. So you'll definitely become an advanced testing professional. Now let me deep dive into the chapters that we have in this particular course. That is something you are very much interested in, all of you. So I have divided this entire course into multiple chapters, which you are seeing on our website. So chapter 1 focuses on making you guys, everyone understand the basics of API, like what exactly is an API, why do we have APIs in software engineering, how does the backend developer integrates the APIs into the front end, how does the front end developer consumes the developed API, what sort of validations are happening from front end to back end to server, and vice versa. We'll also have a look at the client and server architecture, where client is talking to server by sending a request, a HTTP method, a protocol, a request header. So we'll learn all those things, and how server responds back to the client by sending a response body or a response code or a response header. So we are going to learn all these things in this particular chapter 1. Apart from this, we'll also talk about in depth about all the HTTP methods, like why do we have a get method, what is the purpose of it, how does it look like, and how is it related to the database querying process. Similarly, post, put, patch, delete also we will look at it. Essentially, we call them as CRUD operations, CRUD CRUD operations. And we will also have a look at the three-layer architecture that the developers typically, follow. So for which I have drawn a diagram here in my notes. Maybe I'll just show it to you quickly. Though I'm not going to explain everything in this day zero class, it's all about just introduction. So this is the three-tier architecture that I'm going to explain in depth in chapter 1, where you will know what is the front end, what is the back end, how does the server or the database system communicates. And these green and red color scenarios is what our automation engineer works about. When I say client and server architecture, we are going to discuss this particular architectural diagram, which I'm going to draw freshly when I'm teaching you. This is my previous batch diagrams. I'm just showing it to you. So we are going to look at all this entire client and server architecture, so that you're all ready for automation testing using any tool in the market. Okay. Let me also see if there are any questions. So Rida says, will the recorded lectures be uploaded on the WhatsApp channel? The answer is yes. Recorded videos will be available. Recorded videos will be shared. For API testing, Postman is only tool available in the market, or there are other tools as well? That's a question from Kamran. So Kamran, the answer is there are so many tools in the market. Like we have Postman, we have Rest Assured, we have Soap UI tool, we have Ready API tool, then we have Apigee tool, we have Tailend, we have Insomnia, we have Catalan Studio, etc. So these are all the tools that we have, Kamaran. And in our batch, I mean the course I'm taking about focuses on Postman tool. Once you understand Postman tool, Soap UI tool becomes easy to learn because it is almost similar to Postman. Insomnia is also easy to learn because it is almost 99% same as Postman. Tailend is also easy, similar to Postman. Catalan Studio is also easy because it is also similar to Postman. That's why I said Postman acts like father of all the API automation tools. Okay, Rida has a question. Isn't Jmeter also used for API testing? So diplomatically, I can say yes, but Jmeter is essentially developed for performance testing of APIs, and web applications. So look at Jmeter as a performance or load testing tool for web applications and APIs, but it is not a functional testing tool. Okay. Okay. I'm happy that all the questions are floating in. Go ahead, guys. You can ask questions. Okay. Amit says, can you just give a short overview as I just joined? Also, when is the batch going to start? Okay, Amit. Uh, I mean, today is the day zero class. In fact, the batch started from today. Today is a day zero batch, day zero of the batch, where I'm talking about my expertise and pretty much, a conversation between you and me to understand what questions you have and what answers I can give you, and also do a walkthrough of my table of content, which I'm going to explain in this particular course. Okay, that's what I'm sharing my screen. I hope my screen share is visible for all of you. So that's about chapter one, guys. And then in chapter two, we'll go a little closer towards the world of APIs. So in chapter two, I will talk about the different types of APIs that are available in the industry from the last 20 years until today. So there I'll talk about XML RPC APIs, SOAP APIs, REST APIs. I'll also talk a little bit about Facebook technology, GraphQL APIs. Then we have another classification of APIs like public APIs, private APIs, secured APIs, and unsecured APIs. So we'll also have a look at this classification of APIs. Then we'll talk about what is the difference between SOAP APIs architecture and RESTful APIs architecture. Like RESTful APIs is introduced by Google. SOAP APIs are pretty much old legacy type of APIs which are outdated today. But when you have a project, what should be your approach for automating SOAP APIs and REST APIs? All those things will be explained clearly from chapter 2 onwards. In the same chapter, I will also talk about what is the syntax of an API, right? API obviously stands for Application Programming Interface. So when the developer develops an API and hands over to testing team, how does that API look like? What are the different components of it, the elements of it? That will be discussed in chapter 2. I will also show you some live examples of APIs that are available on the internet. Like I can show right away as well. Okay, so I can say, example, if I talk about, so here you see, this is one example of API documentation, and this is how APIs look like. So this is one API which I'm highlighting. This is another API that I'm highlighting. This is another API. This is another API. And then if it is GraphQL technology, which is Facebook, the APIs look like this. I'm just highlighting it. If it is Google technology, we call them REST APIs, and it looks like this. And let me give you one more example. There are a lot of examples on the internet. I'm just showing it to you so that you understand it. So this is one request of an API, and this is the response you are seeing on the right side. And let's say click on something. So if I click on this create, this is the request you see, and this is the response we have. So we are going to test all these things, and we are going to test it from an automation perspective. And if I talk about some XML based APIs, SOAP APIs, so this is how the API document looks like when you get from your developer. And if you want to see the code written by developer and how to test it, then I can show you this as an example. Okay, so this is the code you get from the developer, and how would you test it? And this is the response you have to verify. So how do you validate it, and what should I understand? How should I understand? All these things will be clear to us. So I'm just showing you some sample code here. And if I talk about this GraphQL APIs, which Facebook has developed, so this is another API documentation that's available here. So you see here, I'm forming the query, and I can execute it here, and I can see the response coming from server. So this is one example of a GraphQL API. So our training focuses on how to understand the API document, how to import it in Postman, what sort of JavaScripts we have to write, and how do you validate the responses. All these things will be pretty much clear in the course. Right now, obviously, I'm not getting into the details of explanations and testing process. I'm just showing you how an API looks like. Okay. And let me see if there is any other thing. Okay, Navya says, what kind of frameworks? So Navya, the answer is we are using JavaScripts in this a Postman automation framework. And another tool that I'm using is Newman, Newman. So the answer is we are using JavaScripts. In that, the language we are using is Chai JavaScript, and then Newman tool. So these are the frameworks I'm using, Navya, and that's what the industry also expects. And Amit says, any prerequisite? Amit, the answer is manual testing knowledge. If you have, that's more than sufficient. And then Razia says, as a test engineer, is it possible to create an API request by ourselves? The answer is yes, Razia. You can create it. You can mock APIs, meaning we can create mock APIs. You can create request and response as well. In Postman tool, you can do it. And if you want, I can obviously show it. And Rida says how much we will achieve in this 1 month course. So the answer is whatever curriculum I'm showing you, that's what we are going to achieve pretty much. And does API meaning URL? No, Vaibhav, it's not a URL. API looks like URL, but it is not a URL. So API is different. API and URL are different. Okay. Okay. Let's go to chapter 3 now. So in chapter 3, we will talk about building an API test plan, building API test cases, and learning different API automation testing techniques. So I'm going to explain all these automation techniques to you guys, both the positive testing and negative testing. And if you see, all these are new terminologies. They are not related to smoke testing, retesting, regression testing, functional testing. These are the testing techniques specific to APIs, API automation testing. We'll also create an API automation test plan. We'll also create some reusable test cases in this course. So I can also show you how that document looks like. See, this is the API test cases that I have prepared for the last batch in the course. And you can see the testing scenarios as well. And the test cases you see we have written here. And these are the standards that every company expects their test engineers to develop it. And API test plan is also prepared. And you can see the detailed project test plan over here. I'll be sharing all this material with the participants. You can see the mind map and everything here. I'll just close that. That should not cause much confusion to you. So that's about chapter 3. So until chapter 3, it is more of theoretical discussions between you and me, making your foundation very strong. Because without the theory, I'm sure practicals won't be enjoyable. Okay. Let me see some more questions here. Amit has a question. What will be the time and duration of this course? So Amit, the answer is the course starts at 9 p.m. It ends at 10 p.m. IST, 1 hour per day, and it is Monday to Friday. And Ola says, can we use Python script for Postman? Unfortunately, no, Ola. We can use only JavaScripts. Postman, as of today, is not supporting Python. Rida says, can you provide some tutorials regarding Chai JavaScript for testers? Yes, Rida, that is part of the training program. You'll understand it. And she says, I noticed that some people use TypeScript in their automation testing as well. So which one is more effective, Java or TypeScript? So Rida, the answer is it depends on the automation tool that you have picked up. So if I have picked up Postman, TypeScript is not useful. JavaScript is useful because Postman supports only JavaScript. Maybe some other automation tools might support TypeScript, but mostly TypeScript, I have seen developers using it. JavaScript
This
is a pretty
conference
much
will
common
now be
automation
recorded.
script for test engineers. Okay, Kamran has a question. Does JavaScript knowledge required? As you mentioned, you will use JavaScript. Actually, no, Kamran, not necessary, because Postman gives you all those automation scripts quickly. You don't have to learn it before you join the course. Absolutely not necessary. I will be making you guys pretty much comfortable in that automation process, and then you will obviously feel confident as well slowly. Okay, let's continue here again on the course curriculum. So from chapter 4 until the last chapter, it is going to be practical training. And if you see here, I have clearly mentioned hands-on experience, meaning we will be doing practical things. Like I will be doing it on my laptop and you can do it after the class. So chapter 4 introduces you towards the Postman tool installation process and the setup process, where I will help you guys install the tool, create an account for Postman, and create a workspace for us. Okay. I'll also give a quick walkthrough of the Postman tool graphical user interface in chapter 4. Chapter 5, we will start creating the Postman hierarchy, where we'll create a repository, and we call the repository as a workspace in Postman. And we can create three types of workspaces: personal workspace, team workspace, public workspaces. And in what situations you have to create which type of workspace, that is what we'll discuss in chapter 5. Once you create a workspace, you can invite a team member, you can remove a team member, you can delete the workspace, or you can convert the workspace from personal to team, team to public, public to team, team to personal. We'll look at all these life cycle of Postman workspaces and hierarchy in chapter 5. Chapter 6 is where we are going to take the first project. Okay, so I'm going to take a project which is based on REST APIs, which is introduced by Google, and we will see how to automate that project from smoke testing perspective, regression testing perspective, or positive and negative test cases. And we will write a lot of automation scripts for that particular project. In this process, I'll teach you a lot of things like what is a query parameter, what is an endpoint, what is a payload, when should I write JavaScripts, how would you validate it, how will you save your automation work on the Postman cloud, or how can you save it how can you save it locally on your computer, or if you want to save it on GitHub repository, how can you save it. All those things we'll discuss in this particular chapter. In this process, I will also help you understand the terminologies like what is response code, response description, response body, cookies, response time, the response size, headers, etc. We'll also talk about the history feature in Postman, which you can use to see the results that was executed yesterday, day before yesterday. Chapter 7 focuses on Postman collections. Now, collection is like a container inside which we save our automation scripts, where we have our API request, where we have our variables, where we have our automation scripts as well in JavaScripts. That's what collection is all about. So I will help you understand how many collections we can create, how to create, how can you rename it, how can you delete it, how can you move a collection from one workspace to another workspace, or how can you delete a collection, or how can you copy a collection from one workspace to another workspace, how can you share your workspaces from your account to another account. All those things we will see, and how to execute collection to generate test reports will be clear to us in this chapter. So Postman collection contains all your API request and the automation scripts. I'll just show you, maybe you'll understand it if I just quickly show it to you. The meanwhile, let me see if there are any questions. Okay, Rita has a question. What if we have to make our own test cases using JavaScripts in Postman, not the ones which are in Postman? Can we do that? The answer is yes, Rita, it is possible. We can write our own JavaScripts, which I'm going to obviously do in the course based on the challenges I'm going to give you, and I'm going to solve them as well. The answer is yes, it's possible. So if you see here, I'll just show you some. So this is like my collection, whatever you see, right? Altoro, REST APIs. And these are my folders. And these are the APIs that you have. And here you can write any kind of JavaScripts that you want. So this is where you write the JavaScripts. Okay. Here you have the body that you wanted to supply. You can click send and cross check. Okay. So whatever you see here, right? This Altoro REST API, that's my collection. Similarly, you can see here also some banking application I have taken, and these are the JavaScripts I have written. If you see, so this is the body I'm supplying to log in into the application. These are the request headers we are going to supply to the server. And then if you click send, the request goes to server, and then you get the server response, which is a token I got, and I got success. And you can see my JavaScripts have passed. So this kind of automation what we are going to do, but we are going to do it in a way that's pretty much easier to understand. And Chapter 8 focuses on advanced automation testing of APIs, which means I'm going to conduct a data-driven automation testing. Data-driven automation testing is one of the common frameworks that is used in Selenium, Postman, or any other automation tool. The idea of data-driven automation testing is whatever data I wanted to supply to test the APIs that comes from an external file, like an Excel sheet or a text file or a CSV file or a JSON file. So that's what we are going to see in Postman for API automation. Apart from that, I will also show you data-driven testing by using functions in Postman. So there are a lot of functions in Postman which can generate random data. So example, if you see, so here you see there are a lot of functions. Say dollar random country. So this function will generate a random country name. I can generate a random latitude, longitude. You see, as I scroll down, lot of functions are there in Postman. We can use these functions and generate random data as well, which is also part of data-driven automation testing. Then I'll explain how do we conduct interoperability automation testing. Interoperability is all about testing whether your APIs are compatible on different browsers, different operating systems. All those things we will come to know. Okay, that's what interoperability testing is all about. Which means I wanted to test this login. This is a login API, right? You can see the name here. It is a login API. I want to test this login API on Windows, on Mac, on Safari browser, on Chrome browser. So testing it on multiple OS, multiple browsers is called as interoperability. And I'm going to explain you how do we do that. I'll also show you how we can do performance testing for APIs. Now that's something new I'm going to teach. Usually it's not part of the courses, but from the last 6 months or 8 months, I have been including this as well. We will do performance testing of APIs. And if you see, we have generated some fantastic reports for the last batch. So you can see here, performance report. So this is the report we have generated for performance testing using Postman tool. You can see the footer is having Postman. A detailed metrics report is also there. And if I scroll down further, we also have for another project we have generated. And you can see this was generated on October 11th. These are the fantastic reports Postman helps us to generate. And we'll also talk about another automation called continuous or scheduled automation testing, which means we can schedule the Postman automation scripts and APIs to run every Monday at 11 a.m. or every day at 2 p.m. or every 1 hour the scripts has to automatically execute. You can put all these kind of configurations in the Postman tool so that it works like an alarm, right? So that continuous or scheduled testing automation also we are going to discuss in this course. And then I'm going to show a lot of advanced assertions. Assertions means conditional checks. Like I wanted to verify the response code or the value in the CSV file should be same as what I got in the response body. All these things we are going to check in this particular automation. And I have given some examples of what I'm going to teach, but this is not the only thing. We have a lot of stuff beyond this. Okay? I will also show another advanced automation called API chaining, API automation chaining, meaning let's say this token I should manually copy for now and supply it to the next API here. So I have to supply it here like this. But every time this token changes, when I send again, the token changes. So I will write a JavaScript. That JavaScript will automatically copy this script, this token, and pass it to the next API here. It will pass automatically. So how do we do that? Is called as API chaining test. Then moving on to the next chapter, but before I go there, let me see if there are any questions. Okay, no questions on the chat. Let's go to chapter 9. Chapter 9 is going to be a session where I'm going to explain different interview questions that are asked, different situations in your organizational projects, and how to solve them. So there I'm going to help you this import feature. Practical, I can show it to you. If you click on this import button on the Postman, you can import any automation, you can import any documentation using these files. You can import from here, click on files, or if you want to bring anything from SOAP UI tool, you can bring them to Postman. Or if you want to bring your automation, your API documentation from GitHub, Bitbucket, GitLab, or Azure, I'm going to show you not all of them because the process is the same. I'm going to show you with GitHub and probably Bitbucket as well, or GitLab as well. And I'm going to show you different files and folders that you can, automate, or you can import. So I've given some examples here. So if the developer gives you a Swagger document, how can you import them into Postman? The developer gives you a SOAP API, XML, or WSDL document. How can you import it to Postman? I'm going to show that. I'm going to show you how you can work with Swagger 2.0 version using JSON as the schema, or I'll show you YAML files. I'll show you how to import Open APIs 3.0. And if you have a web request on the browser, I can bring them to Postman. If you have a file of .har extension, I'll show you. And if you have something in the GitHub repository, how can you bring it? If you have a curl command, how can you import it to Postman and then do automation? So all these are the real-time challenges that every automation engineer faces in their career. In fact, I have faced it and I have solved it. Hence, I thought teaching it will be beneficial to all the students, for those who are giving out interviews and for those who are getting into an automation project in their current organization. So chapter 9 is a realistic scenario, not a fictional one. Chapter 10 is all about same thing. In continuation to chapter 9. Chapter 11 talks about Postman variables. Every automation tool and every programming language uses the concept of tools, variables, right? Postman is obviously no exception. So here also we have different types of variables like global variables, local variables, private variables, environment variables. So we are going to discuss how to create them and why should we create it. What JavaScript should we write to create it, or without JavaScript can I create it? All those things is what chapter 11 talks about. Chapter 12 is the new framework that I'm going to teach, Newman tool framework. So using Newman tool, we can generate fantastic reports in HTML format, CLI format, XML format. I guess I can show you something here if it's there. Yeah, so here if you see this one, I'll show this report to you. Okay, the meanwhile, let me see at what time the class will happen. Question from Navya. 9 p.m. IST, Navya. And Amit says, are we going to get any assignments for practice? Yes, Amit. I'm going to give assignments for practice as well. And using the Newman framework I was talking about, right? So with the help of chapter 12, we are going to generate a report like this. You see how good it is? You have a tabular report, you have some boxes here, you can see all the requests, and you see I have executed this 18 times. I can see the result for every iteration. So this is the report you get using that framework, and a detailed output comes to the developers, and what JavaScripts you have written, what is the status, you can see. And if there are any failed tests, they come here. If there are any skipped tests, they all come over here. So this is the kind of reporting format we are going to generate using chapter 12. Okay. Finally, chapter 13, this is where I'm going to talk about how to troubleshoot, how to debug your Postman tool so that whenever something is failing, how can you fix it? That's what chapter 13 focuses about. And by the end of chapter 13, you all become a thorough professional on API automation testing. Okay. So that's the last chapter we have for this course. And with that, my quick walkthrough on the course is completed, guys. And if you have any questions, feel free to put it on the chat, or you can unmute and you can also ask me. Razia says class starts from today. The answer is yes, Razia. In fact, today is day 0 class. Day 0 class is today. Okay, Yasin says explain the difference between your tutorial Udemy, and the YouTube content. Yeah, so I would not say that my course is better than anyone. Every instructor is best from their perspective. All I can say is I'm sharing my practical experience knowledge with you guys. It's not that I am only in teaching. I have been in teaching from 15 years, and I have been doing hands-on automation testing for APIs using Postman tool, other tools from the last 15 years. All the challenges I'm facing in my every project and the solutions I have given to them is what I carried forward to my courses, so that the students who enrolled, they get real time knowledge. I'm not sure if YouTube is covering it already, or I'm not sure if Udemy is covering it already. In fact, I'm also available on Udemy, and I change my courses every now and then. It's like if I've uploaded a course in the month of September, and today I have a better content, I remove the videos on for September and I upload October content or November content immediately. So I make my YouTube Udemy content very much apt, very much accurate with what I'm teaching, with all the latest examples. That's the best answer I can give you, Yasin. And then there's a question from Noor Sheikh. Will you give the real-time examples of banking project, or only anyone like banking or healthcare? See, all the examples are available on the internet, Sheikh. So maybe I can just show it to you. Like, this is a realistic database application available. So this is not a dummy application; it's a real application. We are going to take this, and I'm going to take. This is a banking application which is realistic, meaning it's a practice application, but it's not a dummy, because whatever we do, I can confirm to you that the user is really logged in, the user is really logged out, he's really transferring money. All these things are perfect examples that I'm going to share in the course, so that you feel that you are not working with dummy projects, you're working with a realistic project. When I say realistic, it's not 100% real project, because we cannot take a real project of a company and teach you, right? But it's a project available on the internet, and it has a real database, and we will access, we'll talk to the real database and get the data, create the data, update the data, delete the data. It's a question from Rita. I wanted to ask if it's possible to access the course assignments without enrolling. May not be possible, Rita, because the assignments comes only when the participant enrolls. Sushma says course content. Yeah, Sushma, this is the website. I'll put it on the chat. You can obviously refer from here. It's available for everyone on the chat. Okay. So anyone has any questions, guys, for me? So a quick recap. This is the this is the content I'm sharing with you, API testing Postman. And this folders has a lot of content which I'm going to update it based on how we are going to take the course. And the course is started from today. Today is day 0. So Razia says, is it one time payment? You have an option to pay it in 2 times as well, Razia. 1 or 2 payments, you can make it into EMIs as well. That option is also available. So anyone else has any other questions, please let me know. Okay, Amit says, when should I do that? Amit, on the WhatsApp group, I guess you are available, right? So you can post a message on the WhatsApp group, and our team will guide you how to do that and when to do that. And guys, those who are attending this, please do me a favor. On the WhatsApp group, just mention your email address, so that we can send you, or your WhatsApp number if you're using something else, so that we can send you the notes that is necessary from day 0, day 1, day 2 classes. Surinder says, do I have a YouTube channel? No, Surinder, I don't have any YouTube channels at all. Okay, Ola says, how can one combine both this class and Selenium Python class? Not sure, Ola. I'm not sure if we can combine it, because Selenium is on the front end automation, whereas the one that I'm teaching in this course is the back end automation. Both are two different tools, but both the automations are useful for a project. But how to combine is a tricky question. Not sure if I can answer it right now. And Vijaya says, what is the end date? End date will change, Vijaya, but for ballpark number, you can say 30 days. So today is when the course started, right? So probably I will say December 1st or December 2nd could be the end date, or probably December 6th, I will say, right? Probably I will say December 6th, possible end date of the course. But it might change like one day before, one day after, 2 days before, 2 days after. I don't count the days and then say that the course is completed. It's more about the course content. Sometimes, we may not have a class all of a sudden because of a festival, right? Or maybe my unavailability on some days. So immediately, we'll alert you that the class for today can be suspended and will continue tomorrow. So a safe answer could be December 6th to December 10th right now. Any other questions you have, guys? Please feel free to ask me. The course curriculum is available here. You also have some short YouTube videos of ours where I have given the demos. You can listen to that here on the website you have. And you can also go through the profile about myself. You can see about the instructor here. And this is the feedback that we have received from the real students who has taken the course from us in the last few batches. And in fact, I don't upload it every now and then. I mean, I just uploaded once or twice and then I left it. But on the WhatsApp, soon after the course is completed, I get a lot of encouraging feedback from the students. Razia says, do you provide certificate on course completion? The answer is yes, we will provide you, Razia. So guys, put your email addresses or WhatsApp numbers on the group chat so that my team will get back to you guys. And we'll have the day one class tomorrow. This is day 0. Day one starts from tomorrow, same time, without any delays. We are starting it. Okay, Ola says, what I meant is I'm attending the Selenium Python from Isha. However, both courses are done on the same day and time, but I would like to attend this class too. Okay, Ola, I understand it now. What you can do is, if there is a conflict on the timings, you can probably ask Isha team to give you the recorded videos of our daily classes, right? Probably you may not be attending our classes, but you'll get an immediate recording soon after I complete my session. So that way you can go through it probably the next day if you think that works out. So that way, you can go through it. You can also purchase our live recorded videos and you get it on a daily basis. Okay, I'm not talking about videos that I have done last month or 2 months before. Whatever I'm doing from today, you get access to it immediately. That could be a solution I'm thinking of because you're already attending Selenium courses and there is a time conflict. Naurin Sheikh says you should. Okay, on the WhatsApp group, Naurin, I think you are on the WhatsApp group, right? Please do it on the WhatsApp group. Thank you, Amit, for doing that. Thank you, Ola. Anyone else has any other questions for me? Otherwise, we are good for day 0 training where the expectations are set to you, like what I teach. And obviously you got to know my communication and how am I telling you. That's how it is going to be. There is no bumpy rides. It is going to be a pure smooth ride, and I'll ensure that your understanding is my top priority. And you can ask questions any point of time during my course, either on WhatsApp or on the live class. And I'm pretty much okay for all the questions because that's how the learning starts. Okay, Yasin says, can I work directly in a project after completion of course? Answer is 99% yes, Yasin, without any doubt. But the conditions apply is like, you have to practice soon after the course is completed and ask me questions if you're having any difficulties or challenges. And if you are in this process of, practicing it, definitely 99% you will be able to handle your office projects as well without any problem at all. And in fact, my support will be available to you guys even after the course is completed. Available on the WhatsApp group in the same group chat. That's my personal number. You can contact me anytime during the course, after the course. So even after 6 months of course completion, you can still WhatsApp me saying, "Hey Kiran, this is the problem I have," and I'm there to give you a solution. Okay, Sheikh says, how many classes will have time to pay the fee? So I think probably day 2 or day 3. I will say day 2 or day 3 first EMI, and probably after day 15 the second EMI could be the best. I mean, if you're planning to pay it into installments, that's usually a win-win situation for both Isha and you. Any other set of questions from others? Okay, my name is Kiran Ola, and I'm the trainer for this course. Any other questions, guys? If there are no questions, I think we are pretty much good. Okay, Jyoti says, how can I pay from USA? I think we have the support for PayPal payments as well. PayPal payments can be done. But please get in touch with our team, Isha team. We are on the WhatsApp group. Jyoti, I think you are also on the WhatsApp group, right? For any questions, guys, you can WhatsApp me as well. In case if you are not on the WhatsApp group, okay, either you can ask the questions on the WhatsApp group. But if you are joining from a different mode of communication to this thing, I've given my WhatsApp number. You can put your questions like how can you make the payment or any other questions you have. Please do WhatsApp. Uh, my team will definitely answer you. Okay, Amit says, you mean the course content, right? So Amit, this is the page where the course content is available. Please check it out. Vaibhav says live recorded videos are part of course fees. The answer is yes, Vaibhav. Once you enroll in the course by paying 6,900 rupees, Indian rupees, you get access to the training material, you get access to the recorded videos, you're also joining the live classes. So all the benefits are there. No other miscellaneous charges. It's pretty much transparent. Okay, how can you locate me on the WhatsApp group? I'll just type, this is trainer. I'm just putting a message on the WhatsApp group, guys, just to locate me easily. There are two WhatsApp groups. Let me know if you have received it. Course content, I'm giving it again on the chat for anyone who missed it. Okay, looks like no more questions. I think all of you are pretty much clear. Okay, one more quick question. The recorded videos can be downloaded? No, Naurin. You cannot download it, but you can view it online only. The download feature is disabled because we put it on private channel of YouTube, and we will give access to your email ID. You can only view it, you cannot download it, but lifetime access is available. If anyone has further questions, please feel free to message it. Okay, then looks like no more questions. Thank you everyone for your time. I appreciate your quick time for this demonstration class. Hope most of your questions are answered. But if you have any further questions, feel free to post it on WhatsApp, and I'll be checking my WhatsApp for the next 1 hour, and I'll be able to message you back. Thank you very much for your time. You have a good day, good night. Thank you everyone. Bye bye.